All right, jumping right in, we're doing a deep dive into AIA VDA FMEA. You've sent over some pretty interesting sources on this new standard.
Yeah.
And it seems like, it could be a pretty big deal, especially for small to medium businesses.
Yeah, definitely a big deal. Not just a minor update. This is like a complete, overhaul.
Yeah.
Bringing the U.S. and German automotive industries together on a single global standard.
That's what really caught my eye too. Like, this isn't just theory, it's practical. We're seeing, companies like Ford requiring their suppliers to use FMEA software.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it just highlights how important this is becoming.
Yeah.
This started with the military, then it moved to automotive, and now it's spreading to other industries like wildfire.
Yeah.
And this standard is interesting because it takes the best from both the AIAG and VDA approaches.
Yeah.
And, creates this streamlined, unified system.
Okay, so we've got, a unified approach, and it seems like the implications are huge. But let's back up for a sec. For anyone who might be a little fuzzy on the details,
sure.
Can you give us like a quick rundown of what FMEA actually IIS?
Yeah, so at its core, FMEA is a structured process for identifying potential failures.
Okay.
In designs or processes or even services before they happen.
Right.
So there's really a proactive approach to risk management. You're trying to find those weak spots early on, assess the risks, and then take steps to prevent them from becoming actual problems.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. It's like having a crystal ball that helps you see like those potential problems before they turn into major disasters.
That's a great analogy. And, this standard introduces some really interesting concepts like foundation FMEAs.
Okay.
So imagine having access to this treasure trove of past lessons learned. That's what foundation FMEAs offer. They're like a safety net, helping you avoid repeating the same mistakes over and over again.
So instead of reinventing the wheel, every time companies can tap into this kind of like collective knowledge base and learn from each other's experiences. I mean, that seems incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Especially for smaller businesses, right?
Absolutely. Levels the playing field a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So we've talked about like the big picture, right?
Right.
Unified standard, practical applications, this whole concept of foundation FMEAs.
Yeah. But
what about like the nitty gritty?
Sure.
How does this new standard actually work?
So the heart of it is a 7-step process, and it's a very structured approach that guides you through each stage of the analysis.
7 steps.
Okay.
That sounds pretty comprehensive. Walk us through them.
Okay, let's do that. To make it a little more relatable, let's imagine we're developing a new electric scooter.
Okay. All right. I'm picturing it. A sleek, futuristic scooter zipping through the city streets. Let's prevent any design flaws before they hit the pavement.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the first step?
So first up is planning.
Okay.
This is where you lay the groundwork for the entire FMEA. Define the scope, in this case, our electric scooter, set boundaries, and establish the 5 T's.
5 T's.
Yes. Intent, timing, team, task, and tools.
Oh, okay.
Think of it like creating a blueprint for your FMEA journey.
So getting everybody on the same page before diving into the technical stuff. All right. What's next?
Next comes structure analysis.
Okay.
Imagine taking your electric scooter and breaking it down into all its individual parts.
Right.
The motor, the battery, the frame, the handlebars, everything. You want to see the big picture of how all those pieces fit together.
So it's like an exploded view diagram of our scooter.
Exactly.
Got it.
Then what? And you move on to function analysis.
Okay.
This is where we figure out what each component is supposed to do. The motor provides power.
Yeah.
The battery stores energy. The brakes stop the scooter. It's all about understanding the intended function of each part.
Okay. So we've got our scooter all laid out, and we know what each piece is supposed to do.
Right.
Now things start to get interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we get to the heart of FMEA, and that's failure analysis.
Okay.
So this is where we start brainstorming all the ways things can go wrong. What if the motor overheats? What if the battery malfunctions? What if the brakes fail? We identify those potential failure modes, their causes, and their potential effects.
I can see how this would be like a critical step, but also kind of overwhelming.
It can be.
Like, how do you even begin to like think about all the possible ways things could go wrong?
Well, it definitely requires a shift in thinking. You have to kind of put on your pessimist hat for a little bit and really think about all those worst case scenarios. But that's what allows you to identify and address them before they happen.
Right. Right.
And remember, you're not doing this alone.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative process involving engineers, designers, anyone with expertise in the product.
Right. So it's like a team effort to brainstorm all those what ifs.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've identified all the potential failures.
Right.
What's the next step?
So now we move on to risk analysis.
Okay.
And this is where we assess the severity of each potential failure, how likely it is to occur, and how easily it can be detected. And here's a key change with the new standard.
Yeah.
We're not using the old risk priority numbers, RPNs, anymore.
This is what I was curious about. I've heard people talking about this new action priority AP system.
Right.
What's the difference?
Yeah. So the old RPN system was based on multiplying severity, occurrence, and detection ratings together. And that could lead to some, misleading results.
Okay.
This new AT system is much more straightforward.
Okay.
It categorizes risks as high, medium, or low based on, clear criteria. So it's easier to prioritize actions.
So it's a more streamlined approach to risk assessment.
Yes.
I like that. Okay. So we've analyzed the risks, categorized them using this AP system. Right.
What happens next?
So now comes the action phase.
Okay.
Optimization. This is where you develop specific actions to minimize or eliminate the risks.
Right.
So if the motor overheating is a high risk, maybe we need to redesign the cooling system.
Okay.
If the battery malfunctioning is a medium risk, perhaps we need to implement more stringent quality checks.
Got it.
It's about turning those what ifs into we've got this covered moments.
So taking those potential problems and turning them into actionable solutions.
Exactly.
I can see how this process really encourages proactive problem solving.
Absolutely.
Okay. What's the final step?
The final step is results documentation. Okay. So you document everything. You document the failure modes, the risk assessments, the proposed actions, everything.
Right.
This creates a comprehensive record for future reference and helps ensure that everyone is on the same page.
So it's about accountability, traceability, and creating that knowledge base for future improvements.
Yeah.
This 7-step process seems incredibly thorough.
It's like a roadmap to building a better, safer, more reliable product.
And it's not just about products.
Right.
This process can be applied to any process or service where potential failures could have a negative consequence.
This is all great information, but I'm sure our listeners thinking, okay, this all sounds good in theory, but how does this actually impact my business?
Yeah.
Let's dive into that in the next part.
Yeah, let's get into that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the real world benefits.
Okay.
Especially for small and medium-sized enterprises.
Yeah, because let's be honest, implementing a new system like this can feel, kind of daunting, especially for smaller companies.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways AIU VDA FMEA can actually help them thrive?
Well, first and foremost, it helps them avoid, costly surprises.
Okay.
Imagine, a small manufacturing company that doesn't do a thorough FMEA.
Yeah.
They launch a new product and suddenly a critical component starts failing.
Right.
Recalls, repairs, damage to their reputation.
Yeah.
It can be a nightmare. FMEA helps them identify those potential failures before they become major problems.
Right.
Saving them time, money, headaches down the road.
So it's about being proactive rather than reactive.
Exactly.
And in today's competitive market, that can make all the difference.
It really can.
Are there other benefits?
Absolutely. Enhanced collaboration is a big one.
Okay.
FMEA is not a, solo mission.
Yeah.
It's a team effort. It brings together people from different departments, engineering, design, manufacturing, quality, and it encourages them to work together to identify and mitigate risks. So it breaks down silos,
right,
improves communication, fosters a culture of shared responsibility.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But it makes sense by getting everyone involved.
Yeah.
You're not just identifying potential problems, you're also creating this more cohesive and collaborative work environment.
Yeah, exactly. And, when people work better together, processes become more efficient. That's another big benefit for SMEs, process optimization.
Okay.
So, by analyzing their processes, identifying bottlenecks and implementing improvements, they can streamline operations,
right,
reduce waste and improve overall productivity.
So it's not just about preventing those disasters, it's also about continuous improvement, finding ways to make things run smoother.
Exactly.
Which is something, every business can benefit from.
For sure.
What about compliance and safety?
Absolutely crucial, especially in today's, heavily regulated environment.
Yeah.
So FMEA helps SMEs demonstrate their commitment to quality and safety by, documenting their risk assessments and the actions they've taken to mitigate those risks. And this is essential for, meeting industry standards,
right?
Avoiding potential penalties, maintaining a strong reputation.
You mentioned documentation earlier, and that seems to be like a recurring theme in FMEA.
It is.
It's not just about like doing the analysis.
Yeah.
It's about like documenting everything thoroughly.
Absolutely. Documentation is key for a few reasons.
Yeah.
First, it creates a clear record of the analysis process, right?
Yeah.
Which is essential for traceability and accountability.
Yeah.
Second, it provides a valuable knowledge base for future reference and, continuous improvement. And third, it demonstrates compliance to auditors and regulatory bodies.
So it's about creating the system of like record keeping that supports the entire FMEA process?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Cost savings, enhanced collaboration, process optimization, compliance, safety, documentation.
Right.
It sounds like FMEA can really be a game changer for SMEs.
It can.
But let's be real.
Sure.
There are always challenges when you're implementing like a new system.
Right.
What are some of the hurdles that SMEs might face?
So one of the biggest challenges is simply getting started.
Okay.
A lot of SMEs might, feel overwhelmed by the complexity of it or unsure where to begin.
Right.
Defining the scope. Right. Identifying the right team members, understanding the new standard. It can be a lot to take in.
I can see how that would be like major roadblock, especially for like smaller teams that might not have dedicated like FMEA experts.
Yeah, it's that.
How can they overcome that initial hurdle?
So training is essential.
Okay.
Investing in a solid training program.
Yeah.
That covers, the fundamentals of AIAG VDA FMEA, the 7-step process, the new AP system.
Right.
That can give teams the knowledge and the confidence they need to get started. There are also software tools available that can, streamline the process and make it easier to manage.
So investing in training and utilizing like the right tools can really help smooth that transition.
Absolutely.
What other challenges might SMEs encounter?
Another common challenge is cross-functional collaboration, which, while being a benefit, can also be a hurdle, right?
Yeah.
Getting people from different departments to, communicate effectively, share information openly, work together towards a common goal. It takes effort.
Right. It's about breaking down those silos.
Exactly.
And fostering that culture of collaboration.
Yes.
Easier said than done, I imagine.
It definitely requires a conscious effort.
Yeah.
But the payoff is worth it.
Yeah.
When teams collaborate effectively, they can identify and address risks more thoroughly, leading to better outcomes.
Okay, so training, tools, and collaboration are key.
Yes.
What about the analysis itself?
Sure.
Are there any specific challenges related to like the FMEA process?
Yeah, one challenge can be, effectively transitioning from the old RPN system to the new AP system.
Yeah.
Some people might be resistant to change, or they might find difficult to adapt to the new way of thinking about risk.
Makes sense. It's a shift in mindset.
It is.
How can SMEs ensure a smooth transition to the AP system?
So clear communication and training are essential there.
Right.
Explain the rationale behind the change, highlight the benefits of the AP system, and provide clear guidelines on how to apply the new criteria. Practical examples and case studies can also be helpful.
Yeah, I can see that.
In illustrating how the AP system works in real-world scenarios.
So making sure everyone understands like the why behind the change and providing that necessary support.
Yes.
What about the documentation aspect?
Sure.
We talked about like its importance, but I imagine it can also be a challenge.
It can be, especially for, smaller teams with limited resources.
Right.
Documentation can be time consuming and requires a disciplined approach.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to remember that documentation isn't just a bureaucratic hurdle.
Right.
It's an essential part of the process.
Right.
It supports traceability, accountability, and continuous improvement.
So it's about like finding ways to make documentation efficient and like integrated into the workflow.
Exactly.
Rather than seeing it as like a separate burdensome task.
Exactly. And technology can play a big role here.
Okay.
There's software tools specifically designed for FMEA documentation that can help streamline the process and make it less time consuming.
Okay. So we've identified some key challenges. getting started, fostering that collaboration, transitioning to the AP system, managing documentation.
Right.
It seems like communication, training, and the right tools are essential for overcoming these hurdles.
Absolutely.
But it's always helpful to see like real world examples. Do you have any case studies that show how SMEs have successfully implemented AIAG VDA FMEA?
I do. There's a great example of a small electronics manufacturer that was struggling with product quality issues. They were facing increasing customer complaints and warranty claims, which was, hurting their bottom line.
Right.
And they decided to implement the new AIAG VDA FMEA standard.
Oh, okay.
And the results were remarkable.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So they started by providing, comprehensive training to their engineering and quality teams.
Yeah.
They also invested in FME software to help them manage the process.
Okay.
Initially, there was some resistance to change,
right?
Especially from team members who were accustomed to, the old way of doing things.
I imagine that's pretty common when implementing any new system.
Oh, absolutely.
How did they overcome that resistance?
They focused on the why. They clearly communicated the benefits of the new standard, emphasizing how it could help them improve product quality, reduce costs, enhance customer satisfaction. They also provided ongoing support and guidance to help, team members adapt to the new process.
So focusing on the positive outcomes and providing that necessary support. What were the results of their FMEA implementation?
So the results were impressive.
Okay.
They were able to identify several potential failure modes in their designs that they hadn't noticed before.
Wow.
And by implementing corrective actions, they were able to significantly improve the reliability and durability of their products.
Okay.
Customer complaints and warranty claims dropped dramatically.
That's great.
Their reputation improved and their profitability increased.
Wow. So it was like a win-win situation.
It was a win-win situation.
That's a fantastic example of how AIA VDA FMEA can have a real impact on a business.
Absolutely.
Even a small one. It's not just about theory, it's about practical application and tangible results.
Exactly. And this is just one example.
Right.
There are countless other SMEs out there who are reaping the benefits of this new standard.
It's inspiring to see how like a seemingly complex methodology can be applied in a way that makes a real difference.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about the benefits, the challenges.
Right.
We've even seen, a real world success story.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious about like what the future holds for FMEA.
Yeah.
What trends are you seeing emerge and what can we expect to see in the years to come?
That's a great question. It's an exciting time for FMEA. We're seeing a lot of innovation and evolution in the field driven by, advancements in technology and a growing awareness of the importance of proactive risk management.
Okay, so give us a glimpse into the crystal ball.
Okay.
What's on the horizon for FMEA?
So one of the biggest trends is the increasing integration of FMEA with, advanced technologies, particularly AI and machine learning.
That's interesting. I can see how those technologies could be a game changer for FMEA. How are they being used?
Well, so AI can be used to automate a lot of the tedious and time-consuming tasks involved in FMEA, like data analysis, risk scoring. It can also be used to, identify patterns and trends that humans might miss, leading to more accurate risk assessments.
So it's like having like a superpowered assistant that can help you sift through mountains of data and pinpoint the most critical risks.
Exactly. And machine learning can be used to create predictive models that can forecast potential failures before they even occur.
Wow.
Imagine being able to predict with a high degree of accuracy when a component is likely to fail.
Yeah.
That's the kind of power that AI and machine learning bring to FAEA.
That would be incredible. It would take like proactive risk management to a whole new level.
It would.
It sounds like we're moving from like a reactive approach to like a predictive approach.
That's exactly right. And this shift is being driven by a number of factors, including the increasing complexity of products and systems, the growing availability of data, and the advancements in AI and machine learning technologies.
Okay, so AI and machine learning are playing a bigger role.
Right.
What other trends are you seeing?
Another trend is the increasing focus on functional safety.
Okay.
While traditional FMEA has primarily focused on, reliability and quality, functional safety zooms in on safety critical systems.
Okay, so we're talking about systems where a failure could have serious consequences, like in a car's braking system or an airplane's autopilot.
Exactly. Think, airbags, braking systems, power steering, anything where a malfunction could lead to injury or worse.
Right.
And this is where, a specialized FMEA approach comes in.
Okay.
Often referred to as a safety FMEA.
So it's like a super focused FMEA specifically for safety critical systems.
You got it. And it goes beyond just identifying potential failures. It dives deep into the potential hazards those failures could create.
Right. Yeah.
And analyzes the risks associated with those hazards.
Yes.
Taking into account, the severity of potential harm, the likelihood of occurrence, and the ability to detect and control the hazard.
This sounds incredibly important, especially, with the rise of autonomous vehicles and other technologies where safety is paramount.
Absolutely. And it's often mandated by, industry regulations,
right,
especially in sectors like automotive, aerospace, and medical devices.
So if you're working with safety critical systems, this specialized FMEA approach is a must-have.
Without a doubt. It's about ensuring those systems are designed, manufactured, and operated in a way that minimizes risks and prioritizes safety above all else.
This all makes me think about the broader impact of FMEA. It's not just a tool for engineers or quality professionals. It's a way of thinking, like a mindset that can be applied to any field where risk management is important.
I couldn't agree more. It's about thinking critically, anticipating potential problems, taking proactive steps to mitigate those risks. It's a variable skill set that can benefit anyone, regardless of their industry or profession.
It's like that saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly.
FMEA helps you identify those ounces of prevention.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And as technology continues to evolve, and the world becomes increasingly complex.
Right.
The ability to think proactively and manage risks effectively will become even more crucial.
So where do we go from here? What's the takeaway for our listeners?
The key takeaway is that FMEA isn't just a methodology. It's a mindset, a commitment to excellence. It's about constantly striving to improve, to identify potential problems before they occur, and to create better, safer, and more reliable products and processes.
It's about taking responsibility for the quality and safety of what we create, whether it's a physical product, a service, or even a process.
Exactly. And it's not just about avoiding problems. It's about creating opportunities.
Okay.
When we proactively identify and mitigate risks, we create space for innovation and growth.
It's about building a stronger foundation for success, both for individuals and organizations.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into AIAG VDA FMEA. We've covered a lot of ground, from the basics of the methodology to the latest trends and future outlook.
And we've seen how this, seemingly technical process can have a real impact on businesses of all sizes, helping them improve quality, enhance safety, and boost their bottom line.
It's clear that FMEA is more relevant than ever, and it's exciting to see how it continues to evolve and adapt to meet the challenges of a rapidly changing world.
I completely agree. It's a dynamic field with immense potential, and I encourage everyone to explore it further and discover how it can benefit them.
And on that note, we'll conclude our deep dive into AIAG VDA FMEA.
That's good.
We hope you found this exploration insightful and valuable.
I hope so.
Remember, knowledge is power.
It is.
And the ability to manage risks effectively is a powerful asset in today's world.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep diving deep into the world of knowledge.